गुरुभ्यस्तद्गुरुभ्यश्च नमो वाकमधीमहे वृणीमहे च तद्राद्यौ दम्पती जगतां पति श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। शरीरं सुरूपं तथा वा कलत्रं यशश्चारुचित्रं धनं मेरुतुल्यं मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किम्। I'm going to talk about my teacher, so it is very important that I respect him, offer my prayers to him. I don't know if I'm worthy to talk about him, but whatever I know and I have experienced, I will share with you today. So you're all here to be teachers, and I just wanted to start on a note that from my experience, I have seen that we find teachers in everybody and in everything, right from starting from our parents, and then it turns out that your kids also become your teachers, and then you also learn from people you meet every day, from animals, everything. Anything can be your teacher, but provided you are ready to be a student. So if you are ready to be a student, then I think that anybody and anything can be your teacher. And from that angle, I would like to say that my father was always a student, and he learned from everybody. He did not shy from learning from anybody at any age. So that is the first thing that I want to share about my father. And then, so starting on that note, since we have many teachers that we come across, there is always one person who always stands out in our life and who continues to influence us from the time we meet him or her till the time we die. Their influence is always in our life, and my father has been one such influence. He has been the most influential person in my life, and he will continue to be till I die. So he has been very influential in the way I am, in the way I teach, in the way I teach my kids, everything. So then I was thinking about what to talk. I even discussed with my kids what to talk about your grandfather. So then the only thing they remember was, oh, Tata used to give us some sugar treats, and he used to show pictures of his father, and that's all they remembered. So then I thought, okay, we all play different roles in life. I'm sure you all play different roles in life. So I thought, okay, let's start from there. And since my father has also played different roles in his life, whatever I have heard about him from his sisters, from his students, from whatever I have seen, let me share some small incidences or examples, so you can make out whatever you want about that from that incident or experience, because we all learn different things from our experiences, and depending on what type of person we are and what circumstances we are in, every experience teaches us different things. So I thought, okay, let me start first as a son. What is it that I have heard? So my mother or my father himself has told me that he liked his mom a lot, and he used to be very lean and very flexible, and he always used to climb trees. So have you seen the beetle leaves here? They eat after the meal on a banana leaf. So it's a creeper that climbs on a tree. So my father's job was to climb trees and pluck these beetle leaves. So he always used to help his mom, climbing trees, everything. And there is this one particular incident that I remember, that my father told me that once there was something very mischievous he had done, and his father was very upset with him. And the only way he could escape from his father was to climb the tree. So he climbed the tree and hid there. So his father could not catch him or hit him. So you can probably figure out that he was very naughty and very active. And he was, in fact, in Kannada they called Huchu Kudure, means mad horse. He was all the time running like a mad horse, so much energy, so much active, and so nobody could catch him. So he was always on the run. So this, so I understood from that he was very helpful to his mom, very active and very naughty. And he also used to climb jackfruit trees to pluck jackfruit from the neighbors. Of course, the neighbors didn't like it, but he used to pluck it, and they used to enjoy it. Always when you pluck from somebody else without their permission and eat it, it's more tasty. So he used to always do that. That was when he was young. And then he grew up, and then I'm sure you all know how he met his father as a teacher later in his life, and he became a student of his father. Then as a husband, is Amma also going to talk? So as a husband, I think you will hear better from my mother. She will give you a more authentic experience as a husband. And then as a father, I would like to share with you that every Sunday, he always used to allocate the evening for us, always. So after lunch, he used to rest for some time and always take us somewhere, make us indulge in whatever we wanted, go to the beach or go to the mountain. He was very adventurous, and he also made us climb mountains and climb trees. My mom didn't like it. Now I can understand her now. If my kids were to climb trees, I wouldn't be happy. So he used to encourage us, okay, come on, climb this coconut tree, climb this tree, climb this mountain. And my mom will be like, holding her. So that is how it was. So every Sunday, he made sure that he spent time with his family. He was always there. And those are the things that we can never forget. Of course, he was also made sure that he disciplined us. He didn't like lies, so we never said lies. And if at all we said a lie, we were really scared. So he always disciplined us. And now as a parent, I understand why that was so important, and that disciplining was much needed for us to be good kids and good human beings, more importantly. So that was as a father. And the most dearest memory I have is whenever we used to cross the road, when I'm the last child. So whenever we used to cross the road, even if I was 30 years old, he will always hold my hand and cross the road. It's automatic. It's automatic. I'll be standing next to him. My kid will be here, but he will be holding my hand and not their hand. So he was such a protective father, and so the love in him for us was very clear, that he really, of course we all have difference of opinions with our parents, but that he loved us was very clear from all these experiences. And now as we are older, we understand that better. Then, because you're all going to be teachers, so as a teacher, I would like to share some really interesting experiences that I have had. I used to, as you all know, when we do, my father's forte was therapy. So he used to always do one-to-one, what we call as consultation, like where the person who needs help comes in and my father checks the person, flexibility, what are their abilities, everything, and then designs a course and chooses a teacher. So that's the process of consultation. And so I have sat through those consultations, and some very, very interesting incidents that I have noticed that I would like to share with you. So the first thing was, he was very good in reading the pulse. So we all, it's not about how many beats a minute that he was reading, but what is it that is bothering the person, and he was used to read it through the pulse. Through the pulse, he was able to see what the person's problem was, why is the person here, and sometimes people are not open about why they are there, and sometimes they might not say things that they are doing, but through the pulse reading, my father used to figure out what the thing that is not coming out, or what is the source of the problem. So there's one incident that I would really like to share with you. So when I was sitting with a person, there was a very young man who came for the consultation with his mom, and they were sitting there, and then they were talking, and he had some issues, and so then they were all talking for 10 minutes, and then my father took the pulse in both the hands, and then after some time he said, "Do you get angry a lot?" And then the mom was shocked. "Sir, how did you figure this out? That is his exact problem. This is why he is having all these issues, because he gets angry all the time." And then the person was very calm actually in the consultation, and I was more shocked than his mom, because I was also sitting in the consultation. I didn't figure this out. I couldn't see through, It was really shocking for me, and it was really impressive. And then I asked him after how did you figure this out? He's like, "This is something that you have to learn on your own. I cannot teach you this." So that such was his experience, knowledge, and subtlety in his understanding of people's problems and what to do. The other incident that somebody actually told me this was, so he was coming inside. Usually he comes in and there are people waiting outside to see him, and then usually there are complicated, some people who have complicated issues are directly sent to see my father. So there are people sitting there to see him, and then he just walks in. This is somebody who was observing the consultation told me this. So he just walked in, and then he called this teacher. The teacher's name is, I think, Srinivasan. "Srinivasan, there is an asthma patient sitting outside. You teach this person." The consultation was not even done. He had not even seen this person or met to him, made observations, taken pulse, nothing. He just came inside, said, "Okay, this person has asthma. This is the course you have to do." So such was his power of observation. And the same person also told me another situation where a person was just walking inside the room for consultation, and my father said, there was this teacher sitting, "This person has a disc herniation, teach this course." No observation, nothing. So this was to what level he had achieved his knowledge through experience. And I don't know if we can even reach that level of experience and observation. Of course, we should strive for that, but it is something very, very unique and unseen in my world and in my experience. So these are the things that I wanted to share with you. The other thing that also is very important and very core to the teachings of Krishsnamacharya is he always adapted the practice to the individual, which I'm sure you all know that, but I would really like to emphasize that. He always adapted, always according to the age, ability of the person, religion, and the level of understanding, everything. And he always made sure he chose the right teacher for the student. How he did that was amazing, because half of the students shared an amazing rapport with their teacher. If my father fixes a student to this teacher, the teacher and the student will end up sharing an amazing rapport, and half their issues will be resolved because of the teacher. The rapport between the teacher and the student was amazing. For example, very simple example, if somebody is excuse me, if somebody is a dancer, then he will always fix somebody who knew about dance, so they could meet at some level, the conversation will meet at some level. And he always made sure that he introduced the teacher to the student before the student started learning from the teacher. So it was not like, okay, Mekhala, you teach this person, and he just walks away. It was not like that. He took the time to call the student, to call me. Even if I was in the middle of a class, he will call me and say, Mekhala, this is the student, they have this problem, you teach this. And then he will also introduce me to the student and take that time. So then, when we meet again, the teacher and the student, there is no awkwardness. There is an immediate connection that begins. So that was something that was really important regarding the teacher-student relationship, that he made sure that from his side he initiated that relationship, so it went well along with the lines of healing. So that was his concept of adapting, his concept of making sure that he gave the right teacher, making sure that the rapport was right between the teacher and the student. And this is one thing I must share with you, even though it is not good, even though I made a mistake, so I must share with you. So this is how he was. He was not a father there, he was a teacher there. So he had fixed a student for me who had some depression issues. So I was teaching this person some classes, and then we always go back for a feedback. Every second or the third class we have to go back and say, this is the progress of the student, this is how she is. Or if there is no progress, then we have to change the practice class, something like that. So when I went to this practice class, so I was giving him an update about what was happening. So he felt that what I was doing was not right. So he said, I don't think you are the right person to teach this. I was really embarrassed, but he said, you're not the right person. And he changed the teacher, and then the student felt better after the teacher was changed. But I'm just saying this because he was not a father, he was a teacher there, and he made sure that the person who needed help got the right help. It didn't matter whether his daughter was teaching him, his son was teaching him, or somebody else was teaching him. So father was different, teacher was different. He made sure that it didn't come in between. Somehow he managed to do that. I'm telling you, it's very hard, because when I teach my daughter, she's like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. No way. And then if you become a teacher, they don't like it. They don't want moms to be teachers. So it was really very hard. And I don't know how he did that. And it was something very amazing. So this is because you're all teachers, and you will be teaching people whom you share maybe some other kind of relationship, but we all have to make sure that we do the right thing to the student, and that is what my father did exactly. So this is one incident one of the incidents that I wanted to share with you. And then the other thing I also wanted to share with you, that this is probably, my mom might tell you, but I think it will be more authentic if I tell you this. My father always empowered my mom, always. He taught her chanting, taught her practice sessions, and of course she is not the wife. if when it comes to the institute, she's a teacher. She always made, if anybody who makes a mistake, he always corrected it. So he always empowered her, taught her. And the power of yoga, I just want to tell you, this is something I must share with you. So my mom's family, everyone, there are 10 siblings. Everyone has diabetes except my mom. Everybody older than her, younger than her, everybody has diabetes except my mom, who has in fact low sugar. So she is the only one who is sugar free in the family. So this is the power of yoga, and my father has guided her, and the practice has really helped her. And the power of the practice is not only seen in her physical health, it is also seen in her mental health. And she is really a strong lady, really a strong lady. And you will see that. Have you all met my mom? Yes. Oh, everybody has met her? Okay. You guys then know that. She is really somebody very strong, very strong. And then she always attributes it to my father for the teachings that she has received. She is, okay, and then I will now shift to my mom, so I will not talk about that. So this is something, so my father was really modern in his thinking, in his approach. So he was always forward thinking. And that was also why my father and mom had a lot of difference of opinion, because my mom is from a very, traditional family, but even though my father was traditional, he was very forward thinking, very forward thinking. They had a lot of difference of opinions because of that, but the basis of it was they liked each other, and that's what mattered. We all have difference of opinion. Even with our kids, we have difference of opinion. So that is the other thing, that he was always forward thinking. And he was really very hardworking, very hardworking. I remember that when we were kids, at the end of the day, he always used to ask me or my brothers to massage his neck. And now I understand that why. We never understood. It was fun for us. Okay, do something, step on his legs, play around, things like that. But now we understand that it was really the end of the day. He has really worked very hard, and he was really working very hard to establish yoga at a time when yoga was not seen as powerful as it is seen today. My mom will tell you that she even didn't tell her friends that her husband was a yoga teacher at that time. People didn't even want to use the word yoga. So it was something that was not patronized, or something the power of which was not well known. It was at that time that my father was trying to establish something, and I think today I can say he has really succeeded in establishing the power of yoga. Of course, that is also with the blessings of his teacher, so we cannot deny that. And he always acknowledges that whoever he is, whatever he is, it's because of his teacher. And that is one amazing quality, his humility, always attributing whatever he does, whatever he has achieved is to his teacher. So even if somebody feels really, sir, you have really saved my life. There are so many people who have come and told him, sir, if not for you, I don't think I'll be here. He will always point to his teacher and say, it's all because of my father's blessings that I'm able to do that. So such was his humility and humbleness. And I don't know what else to share, because as I told you, I didn't want this to be a prepared speech. I just wanted this to come from my heart, and if I think more, maybe more things will come. And so these are some of the things that I really wanted to share. So to summarize, he was always a student in his life. He learned music from me. From me he learned music, and then he learned it from other people, and then he learned to write Tamil when he was above 50 years old, because he didn't know how to read and write. This is in Tamil Nadu, Tamil is the language. So he learned to learn Tamil from the manager at the mandiram. He learned music from his student. He learned music from me. And then, of course, I think he learned cooking from my mom. He used to make all these dishes for us. Some of it were successful, some of it were not successful. So, and he used to put all weird vegetables in the dal that he used to make. And we all used to come so hungry, we had no choice, we just ate it. All weird vegetables, all weird combinations. And but I must tell you, have you guys ever, there are so many Indians here, have you ever used pickle in sambar? Pickle in sambar? No, have you used pickle in? Not dal, but in Indian cooking, instead of putting spices, he used to put pickle in the sambar and spice it up. It was very good. You guys must try it. So even in upma, he used to put pickles in it and make upma. That was one dish I really liked, and I use it now. When we don't have spices or seasoning, I just put pickle in the sambar. So you know, he was always experimenting, and his experimentation was not only in the cooking, it was also in the practices that he gave. It was amazing how he modified asanas, how he modified meditative practices just like that. And this is some things that we will not even think about. How is this possible? So coming to that, there was one lady who was a dancer. She was a dancer, and she had knee problem. Her knees were locked, and she couldn't walk or anything. So my father asked me to teach her. And some of the asanas that he gave her, you all know Dvipada Pitam, the bridge pose. So in the practice course, he had included Dvipada Pitam, and I was surprised he had put that Dvipada Pitam. But in 2 classes, the girl was able to walk. I don't think I would have even thought about. So his understanding of the human body, his understanding of how each asana, each moment, how it worked on the muscles, on the joints, on the emotional, mental and spiritual level was amazing. It was amazing. He had this understanding in all the 5 levels. And he used to use appropriate chanting, everything. Even for small kids as old as 4 or 5 years old, who could not even say what their problem was, he used to check their pulse and do it. And this is something I must also tell you, that he could also figure out from the pulse if someone was pregnant or not. And he could also tell, in India you are not supposed to say it, and so he'll never say it, but he could also tell what was the gender of the child. And based on that, he used to give chanting mantras without telling them what the gender. It will always be right. It will always be right. So this is another, talking about that, this is another incident that I would really like to share with you. So there was a pregnant lady who had come to learn from him, and she was wanting to learn a practice to have a normal delivery. So she comes to the consultation, and he checks her and everything, and he tells her, you know, ma, why don't you go and have a scan tomorrow and come back to me? So this lady goes back, and then they figure out that she is not even pregnant. She is pregnant. She has periods have stopped. She has all symptoms of pregnancy. Her stomach is also coming out, but she is not pregnant. She has something else in her stomach. And my father, just with a pulse, figured that out. And if he had not told her, probably they would be thinking till the 9th month that she is pregnant, and things would not have helped her, and she would not have, come out of that. If I keep thinking about it, there are so many things, so many miraculous things that I can think about, which only we cannot understand. and I don't think we are even ready to understand that such was his, and he always attributed it to his father. He never said this is because of me, always attributed it to his father. So I hope you all find teachers in everything and in every one of the people who teach here, and remember that we all have to be first students so that we can grasp the maximum thing, and I wish you all the best. I would say I was 25 or maybe a little younger than that, and before that it was like we were all in group class, so I was a demonstration model, so I used to go demonstrate and just come back. So it was like, hey, I can do this posture like that. So but understanding the value, understanding him to this extent probably took some time, because he was always there with us, and so it took some time to understand that. I think only when I was ready to be a student I saw him as a teacher. Until I was not ready for that, not willing to see that, I don't think I saw him. No, he was, once he comes back, then he is a father. He used to give classes at home. So when you go in that room where he teaches, then he is a teacher. But over time, when I became a mother, he adapted, because he knew that my first duty was a mom. So if I'm in the middle of a class and if my daughter is crying, then he did not mind that I attended to her, because he knew that my first dharma is a mom, like that. So so he, like I said, he adapted. So he was not like very strict. He was not very strict. He understood, and when in the situation was there, when we go inside that room where he gives a class, he is a teacher. Oh, also one last thing I want to tell you. Like as a father, I'll just finish with this. So he used to have this big room, and he used to give classes there. And there used to be Westerners who used to come. This was a very big room, and there was this table, and there used to be 2 chairs. It's an exact stool. Same thing was there, and there was a big table. And so he used to be giving classes, and when my mom was not there, I used to go hide under the table, and then he will be giving class, and I'll be hiding under the table, coloring and making noises, and he didn't mind. There were many texts that I wanted to learn from him. So he used to teach me Yoga Sutra, Yoga Pradipika. So when I used to say, Appa, can we have this? Can you teach me this? Can you teach me this? I'll come this class. I'll come. Can you teach me this? Can I attend this session? So he used to tell me, Mekhala, more than learning all these texts, it is very important that you go and teach. First, go and teach. You have to start teaching to be a better teacher. So he used to say, give classes. This will learn slowly. Now you have to start teaching. So once we had certain basic education that was done, he said, now you have to start teaching. Learn to apply what you have learned. This we will learn. Yes, this is on the side. We will learn that slowly. But the priority is you have to be a teacher, because that is when you will learn to adapt what you have learned to the situation, to the teacher, to the student. You have to learn to apply what you have learned. You just cannot keep reading, keep learning all this. Only when you apply, because yoga is experiential knowledge. It's not theoretical knowledge. Unless you teach and you get a feedback, you don't know if what you're doing is right or wrong. So he said, you have to experience being a teacher, and the textbook we will learn, but that is on the side. But you have to start teaching. So he made sure that I gave lots of classes and become a good teacher. gain that experience, not focus on theory, but as a teacher, learn to teach. Okay, you have learned this, teach this, try to teach this, and see how your, whatever you have learned, is this the right thing? So because when we are teaching, there are many things that we want to teach, but the student is not able to do it. So then at that time you need to modify. Now if I am not in that situation where I need to modify, I am not going to ever learn to modify, right? So that is what he said. So you have to go and gain that experience, teach, go and teach. This is also important, but this should be on the side. You have learned the basic things, now you have to learn to apply it, and all these things we will also do that by the side. But the priority is you have to gain the experience, become a good teacher. That's what he did not say it, he just said this and I understood that. He just said, teach, this will happen, go and teach. And I understood that that's what he meant. Because ancient teachers never give you the messages like that. It's always, you have to understand it. If you are willing to get the message, you will get it. If you are not willing to get the message, you will not get it, like that. Om Pranapanavyano samana me Shuddhyantan jyotiraham Viraja vipapma Bhuya sagguswaha. Om Vangmanaschakshushrotra jihva Ghraнаreto buddhya kuti sankalpa me Shuddhyantan jyotiraham Viraja vipapma Bhuya sagguswaha. Om Shirah Panipada Parshva Prishtodhara Janghashishnopastaphayavo me Shuddhyantan jyotiraham Viraja vipapma Bhuya sagguswaha. Om Tvakcharmamagung sarudhiramedosthimajjame Shuddhyantan jyotiraham Viraja vipapma Bhuya sagguswaha. Om Shabdasparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha me Shuddhyantan jyotiraham Viraja vipapma Bhuya sagguswaha. Om Annamaya Prithvyap Tejo Vayuvakasha me Shuddhyantan jyotiraham Viraja vipapma Bhuya sagguswaha. Om Annamaya Pranamaya Manomaya Vijnanamaya Anandamaya me Shuddhyantan jyotiraham Viraja vipapma Bhuya sagguswaha. Om Vivityai swaha. Om Ghashotkaya swaha. Om उत्तिष्ठ पुरुष हरे लोहित पिङ्गलाक्षि देहि देहि ददापैता मे शुध्यन्तान् ज्योतिरहं विरजा विपाप्मा भूयासग्गु स्वाहा ॐ स्वाहा।